Hello everyone. It's your boy Snazzy, and we are here today with something different, right? Quite naturally, something as you can tell, right? There's a lot of movement happening here. We are standing up, as you can see. Well, you can't see, obviously. We're standing up, right? We're standing up. We're on our toes, right? I'm pretty sure everyone's been wondering where I've been these past like 2 weeks. I got sick. It was pretty bad, so I just end up staying in my bed for most of the time. If you're wondering if you had me added on Discord, like, oh yeah, you were on games, like, yeah, in my bed, in my bed. There were some games I was playing from my bed, of course, but this is not about that, right? This is not about me being sick. This is about pretty much everything that's happened in the past few days, but is mainly related to mainly Battlefield. And we also wanted to watch a video from someone that we like watching, Big Fry. I'll leave a link to his channel, of course, after we watch the video. Of course, after we watch the video, we'll link his video. But it's about Battlefield in this recent game. It's been pretty hype. I've been seeing a lot of it. Looks pretty good for the most part. I will not lie. It looks really good, but that's what we said about Battlefield 2042. But quite naturally, everyone already play tested. I watched Tim. I watched Tim. I watched Tim play because he's a filthy casual. So right, we're watching someone who's like potentially like he's not that good at video games, and we'll see how he does. Right, and I like his gameplay for the most part, and I was like, okay, I can get behind this game. Definitely, it looks pretty good. Right, the trailer was immaculate. Of course, like that's up Battlefield's uh expertise. We could even say like, oh, that's pretty much any AAA studio we can say, right? Like we can say like everyone's really good at promoting their game and giving out a really good trailer that gets you to go buy the game. But I'll say like this is probably like their best one compared to like 2042. Like that 2042 trailer was good, but the gameplay didn't match, of course, right? Unfortunately. So let's check this out. We already watched like at least 4 minutes, like the beginning part, until it came to this certain little discussion that he started talking about, which I was like, oh, that's a fact. Like that's something I really, really would appreciate that they would have, because that's like also the same reason why I didn't like playing 2042 after a certain time period. Of course, like that was like the key thing. But it's like, bro, just thinking about like I enjoyed 2042 and I have it installed right now. Let me pull it back up. Right? I have it installed at the moment, right? So like we've been playing it and I'm like, okay, I can see the things I like. I've been playing on the Milsim servers, which have been really fun to play on. I recommend those if you're playing 2042. Just go play Portal. Way better than the core game mode. Way more enjoyable than the regular game mode. But to the video, uh, we'll leave a link to this video. Let's start.
Likes
Don't
to
mind all the tabs at
2.7K
the
dislikes,
top.
which is an insane ratio, and over 500,000 wish lists on Steam. We're learning a whole bunch about the game as we gear up to the beta weekends starting on August 7th. I've been in airports tweeting my ass off, getting home late, and just getting involved in the discussions around Battlefield 6. There are a lot of things that the community are bringing up that I want to make sure the developers are 100% crystal clear aware of, and that's what this video is. This is essentially me aggregating everything that the community is saying and then having a discussion about it. If you guys like my Battlefield 6 content, leave a like on the video, subscribe for more
Wait, is the
content
video?
leading up to
I was like, wait, why does it sound so low?
Battlefield 6. The first beta
Okay.
weekend is this
I was
weekend.
like,
I
wait, why
will
is
be
this so
streaming
low?
it. I'm going to be playing it. We're going to be able to experience it together. All of the people who were at my live stream, and you guys got codes. Get into it. Let's play, and let's let these developers know exactly where our heads are at.
I actually want to try this game out though. Wait, the beta is on the 7th, right? It starts on the 7th. What's today's the 3rd? So I definitely I'll try it myself for sure. Right. Hands on. It looks good quite naturally. I have high hopes for it. Quite naturally, once the game it gets into the into the general hands, of course, right? They might have to tweak things because quite naturally, You know, they got some good streamers, right? Some good players here, but you know, some of these guys they're not like hardcore Battlefield players. So quite naturally, once you give the game into the hardcore Battlefield player hands, right, they might have to adjust things because they'll do things and they'll discover things that are broken that these streamers didn't. And right,
Going into
right.
this launch.
It looked good though.
Okay, I pissed off a lot of people when I tweeted out about this clip. This is a clip that has been going viral in the Battlefield community because this happened.
I saw this clip before, like, before he plays it, right? How do you feel about sliding in any games? Let me know down in the comments, all right? I don't mind it. I don't really mind like there being any slide like movement. Wait, let me make sure like I'm in a way over here, but I don't really mind like there being like like really high tech movement in the game. Right, sliding is one of those things. It's like I don't mind, but a lot of people in the Battlefield space they really don't like sliding because it makes it harder to hit. Right? It makes them hard to hit, right? And that's like the main gripe about it. So I'm one of those people. I don't mind it, but if they put it, they say it's a bug. They said it was a bug that he was able to slide that far, right? I was like, oh, okay. So that's not intentional. Okay, thanks for letting us know, EA.
At the event, this is Shotzi playing. Obviously, if you guys don't know who Shotzi, man, he's playing with Symphony, Crimsix. Like, these guys are professional players.
Yeah.
This is the
TP,
clip here. We're going to watch it. Then we're going to talk
TP
about why
there.
this is so controversial.
So you
can see he jump shots the guy here, gets a kill,
and then he
slides through the smoke, and kills this guy behind here. And that's essentially the clip.
When you look at this, it's not even that crazy what he did, right? That happens in the Battlefield game anyway, for the most part. Even in 2042, like you'll see some people slide and get a crazy kill, but in my opinion, I don't think it's that crazy. All right, I don't think it's that crazy.
Go down the jump shotting, and he was able to get that kill. And the big problem that people are having with this is the slide that comes afterwards. Now, as you can see here, it's a pretty long slide. A lot of people don't want sliding in this kind of movement tech in the game at all. There's that camp that really wants the game to stay like really hardcore grounded, not hardcore, but like really grounded in realism.
Yeah, really grounded.
And then there's the crowd like this that want a little bit more fluidity in the movement tech. They have the things like the drop roll when you actually land on the ground. Your character actually somersaults forward to kind of keep momentum. Me personally, I don't mind sliding in a game like this. When I look at this, that was a pretty egregious slide. The distance here
it was kind of
is
egregious.
insane.
That's true.
Battlefield has since come out and said that is a bug and you aren't supposed to be able to slide that far. And it looks like there was something to do with the momentum calculations. Now, when I first heard that that was a bug, I was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, sure. If I can be honest, after the past, what we heard with 2042, I don't know if I actually believe that. Maybe I'm just scarred from that release. But then when you look at this clip here, this is a clip from Aaron the Loco, who by
a lot of people were scarred from that release. Best believe. My friend Homelander, he plays Black Desert with me a lot, right? He refunded 2042 the same day. He was like, yeah, no, right? Nope. He refunded it the same day. I'm like, damn.
the way I met at the event, really great guy. This is him parachuting off of this area. This is in Liberation. Watch how fast this parachute pops. And I felt this too when I was actually streaming at the event. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, this looks pretty insane. Look how fast it's going.
You
like,
rip.
Like, look at that
to the
shit.
point where it actually looks fucking ridiculous. So if it's a matter of momentum and there's issues with the calculations, that could also apply here. And I think that could lend a little bit of credibility to the fact that sliding might not be what we saw in that first clip when we get to launch. I'm curious if it's going to be fixed before this beta this weekend. I hope it is, so that we can actually see what we're dealing with in terms of movement tech. Now, where I'm at with that is, if they can adjust those parameters and actually calculate it and make it work better, great. To me, that's like low-hanging fruit. We have to get it fixed. We have to make sure that the bugs aren't persistent. But at the very least, we don't have vehicles driving up fucking buildings yet. Now, the next conversation comes from a producer at EA Dice.
That was happening. That was. I'm not. If I can find the clip, I'll find it. But that shit was hilarious in 2042. I'm like, bro, what the heck?
Working on Battlefield 6. She was part of the presentation. I actually met her out
Oh.
at the place as well.
And this is the.
I'm going to talk about our server browser later today, but first, I want to understand everyone's reasons for wanting a server browser so I can make sure I explain what we're doing effectively.
Yeah. So he's going to definitely explain this, but quite naturally, we want to give our 2 cents on this. I think a lot of you guys can also relate being Battlefield players as well, especially if you play the older ones where you kind of search for a server to go to. Quite naturally, it won't be like those days, of course, because those people back on Battlefield 4 and the other ones, you rented out a server and then pretty much like, hey, like, right? Cool times, best times, fun times, right? Of course, right? You can still do that, of course, right? You can just go back to Battlefield 4. There's still some popping servers here and there, of course. I need to stop saying, of course. Right, when you realize things, you're like, wait a second, why did I say that again? But I'm all for that, quite naturally. I think a lot of people would say the exact same thing. Like, we kind of like those server browse because, quite naturally, having to re-queue and find more people again, right? Kind of is like there's no like there's SBM in the game, but even with all the SBM, like there's really no need for like if I'm being really honest, I think a lot of people will say the exact same thing. There's too much chaos happening for there to really be SBM in the first place. So it's like it doesn't even matter like SBMMs in the game because there's just so much. I think Jeff said that also. Like, there's so much chaos happening. It's like there's really like you can have high skill players in the lobby, of course, but there's so much shit happening around you. It doesn't even matter. So server browser, I think, would be a great thing, a great addition to the game. They had it in the game, but it's only for Portal. And then keep in mind, you only get limited amount of XP in set to Portal mode. So a lot of people play Portal. They just know they're not going to get any XP playing it, of course, right? They just play it because they're having fun, which is a good thing.
What is it about a server browser that's important to you? Now, I obviously responded to this tweet, and I think the main points for me, you can foster a community if you have a server browser that allows you to find community servers that stay up persistently. The main problem I had with 2042's Portal server browser was the fact that if there was nobody in your server, the server would close down and you'd have to reopen it, restart up a game. That's ass.
Yeah,
for
that's
me,
ass.
what I would love to do, like best case scenario.
Yeah, that was bad. So it was like once the server, like once people like stop playing, the server closes entirely. Right, that's so ass. Right, that like no.
Is have a server browser in game, be able to rent a server from you and give you money every month to be able to give.
And that's another thing. Like that would make you money in the long run. I'm pretty sure they're still making money from Battlefield 4 till this day because there's people still renting out servers over there just so that they can play the game still. That's why like they can't really do anything for that game because it's like they're still generating some form of income from it, even though it's like a really old game now at this point, which is kind of crazy to say.
Me server tools that I can then hold and bring admins onto the server, curate experiences that my community actually wants to play. So every time they jump on, there's Big Fry's community server. We know the experience we're getting there. We're going to go there. We're going to play. We're going to have a good time.
We need this.
We know there's active.
We need this for the game. Right? If y'all don't do this, right, that's going to be a major L on EA's part. And it's like, you just keep going against the player what they wish. And that's not cool, of course, right? Right? It's like the players are asking for this. If they're like the majority of players, including myself, we want this for the game. So, like, because we're asking, hey, if y'all do this, quite naturally, that would be fucking dope. Because it makes you money in the long term, right? I can only imagine, like, the amount of chaos, okay? Because quite naturally, there's some ups and downs about having these things, and he listed like the positives. There's some bad ones, quite naturally, where you have very controlling admins, where they're like, oh, I don't like that you're using this weapon, or I don't like that you killed me, so I'm banning you from you're banned forever for my server. It's like, okay. Right, I've encountered that a few times in Battlefield. It's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's annoying. It's just power crazed people, of course, in charge of the server is like, oh yeah, I just didn't like that you killed me this way, so I just banned you from the server. Or, I don't like that you used this weapon, even though we said this weapon is banned, even though it's not an overpowered weapon. They just don't like seeing people use it, of course. They don't like seeing other people who are good with it using it.
Admins. So when it comes down to like people are talking about things like anti-cheat, we can help assist in that and curate the experience on our server for our community. Fostering communities is the only reason why people can go back now and play Battlefield 4 and find servers. Granted, it's dying out, but it's also been a fucking decade, and that's what you want when you're making. When we're talking about like live service, multiplayer, long-term vision, you want people engaged with your game and your community for as long as humanly possible. You have the blueprint already. Another thing, and it kind of branches off of.
You have the blueprint. That's a fact. But do you want to use so blueprint? They don't. That's why like the last previous, especially the last Battlefield flopped. And the previous ones, the last good one we had was what? Can we say 5 was good? I don't know. I didn't like 5 that much. It was enjoyable. It wasn't that good though. I like Battlefield 1. Hey, Battlefield 1 was actually good though. I really like Battlefield 1. I think people still play that, right?
That community feeling is the fact that you can stay in a rotation of maps with the same teams. So one thing we experienced at the event was every time we finished a game, it would kick us back to the main menu. We queue up and we face against somebody else. With a server browser, if I can jump into a server and stay there, you get those back and forths where you start.
Yep, that's what we want. Damn it. That's what I want. That's what I want. I think that's what everyone else wants. It's like having to search for people to join your lobby is freaking stupid.
Recognizing, again, people in that community, you start seeing the names and you're like, okay, I know that dude is really good in a tank. This time I'm going to run engineer. And you start to build that competitive nature naturally when you start to actually, incentivize communities to stay together. Yeah, being able to hop in and just go from map to map to map.
When I had Battlefield 4 installed a few days ago, I recognized one of the there was this guy in a helicopter. I'm like, wait a second, I remember you from 3 years ago. That's crazy. Right, that was when Battlefield was still Battlefield 4. There was still a lot of servers going, and it was on what was that railroad map? You know the map. I forgot the name of it, but Gamug, wherever that map, railroad Gamug. I was like, oh, it's that helicopter. That guy is good on the helicopters. I remember me and my friend Silver troll the shit out of him one day. That was a fun day. But it's what he's saying, I 100% stand behind that. I feel like the reason why I got good at Battlefield 4 especially is because I was going against really good players. When I mean really good players, I mean players I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate when you were playing as well, where you would see players that would go 120 deaths, or they would have mad kills. And I'm talking about especially on the infantry only maps, and they would just have a lot of kills, and then literally they wouldn't die. They would die, they would die, but they would die so little that they're getting a lot of kills. It's I got good because of those players, because I wanted to be like those players, especially, when I was in high school. I'm like, bro, those players are really good. Holy shit. They were getting, mad kills, and they're not dying, really. And they're getting so many kills. And on maps where it's only, it's pure infantry, and it's how are you surviving? It was they're just playing the game, and you learn from them, you watch them, or you're just simply going against them, and that just builds you up as a better player over time.
And see how people play, and that to me is very old school.
That's very old school, yes.
Better, and I would say more organic game feel when it came to multiplayer. And that also branches into the third thing here: absolutely no skill-based matchmaking. I don't have to worry that if I have a great game in a tank, that the next game I'm going to go against guys like Shotzi or Crim 6 and get absolutely fucking destroyed because your back-end systems put me in a bracket where it thinks I should be way fucking better than I am, You don't have to worry about that here, which is what a lot of people have been clamoring for.
Yep.
It doesn't matter when you join a community server. Your ping, your location.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. And especially in Battlefield where literally there's just pure chaos happening. And especially in this game's case, everything is getting blown up. The whole map is damn near destructible. Well, not the entire map, but right. Generally, like a lot of the buildings on the map are destructible, at least in some regard, compared to previous battlefields. Accidentally like bumped into my dog right behind me. But hopefully things go well. I hope. Hopefully they do this.
And the server size and the game experiences are all that matters. It's essentially all comes down to player choice, which is what you see from a lot of responses on this tweet. Player choice. Enders right here, player choice. Ability to guarantee that you're getting into a full game. The ability to choose, guarantee, choose map. Player choice.
Player choice.
Literally just agency. Give me the option to play whatever it is I want if that's what I want at the time. It's essential for communities to host what they want when they give us the choices to do what we want to do. The thing that I'm sensing from the presentation, you guys,
like another thing, like when I went to play like the older Battlefield 4s, another thing I'm pretty sure you guys definitely love this about like those servers that'll make the tickets a lot longer to where the game would last longer, so where you can actually like play the game as long as you want and then leave whenever you want. Right, quite naturally, like most of the time you will finish most of your games, of course, right? Especially if you like that server, right? You would sit in like whatever map you were playing on Battlefield 4, you would sit on those maps for like what? Like how long can one map last? Like 60, right? Like maybe an hour potentially on how good both teams are, but right at most like 30 minutes to 40 minutes a game. And that was fun. I enjoyed doing that, right? I still enjoy playing games for like mad long, and I don't have a short attention span. I can play a game for like hours in, right? Hence why I play Black Desert. Hence why I play Black Desert, because that game has my attention pretty much all the time. All the time. There's never a time where it doesn't have my attention, unless like PA's like fucking up, but that's very rare in my opinion. I should talk about that video. Right? We'll save it for the next video, right? With the latest stuff we're getting on console, which is freaking amazing. Pretty happy about that. Oh, let's continue.
Doing Forge style, like the Battlefield portal where you have the 3D editor. It sounds like you guys really care about player agency, creating and curating experiences. Yeah. The server browser has to be a part of it. Now, Alexia did respond to this by saying it feels like your most important things are persistent servers, a sense of community, being able to choose specific maps, modes, filter by ping server. Yeah, all of these things. So at the very least, guys, we know that they know what we want when it comes to a server browser. More to share in the future in this, but I think our server browser solutions answer all of these wants. Yes, it's via portal and shows community experiences, but these can award full XP, will be front and center in our main menus, not hidden away, and will allow you to filter and search for specific things you want. Good. So what it sounds like they're doing is a hybrid system where you have a server browser and portal like we did with 2042, but it's obviously being expanded. I want to say, she says it answers all of these wants. That tells me that they're
hopefully she's not lying. That's the key thing. You better not be lying, Alexia. You better not be lying to me.
There is going to be persistent servers up at all times in Portal, which if so, already a step in the right direction.
Yep.
But it sounds like if you don't want to go into Portal and find all of these different experiences, that you can also choose to matchmake. Now, whether that's going to throw you into a completely different set of servers or if it's just going to matchmake into what you're already seeing in the server browser, I don't think so. It sounds like what they want to do is not segment Portal and the main game. They want to kind of intertwine the two, which I got to see how that's going to work out. But that's what it sounds like, which is cool. Now, one thing we did learn, they can award full XP. As we know, if you played 2042, there were so many servers that were basically built to just farm XP. And I did see a tweet. It was from somebody at the studio, and I can't remember who it was, but they said that they're going to be working diligently on making sure that the only game modes that can award full XP are going to require you, I believe it was to require you to submit your game mode to them for approval to then be able to dole out XP that way. So I think they're actually going to be taking much bigger control of the experiences that are going to give you XP in Portal. But again, we have to see more about it and how it's going to work. I want to know how all of this works. From a community perspective, I'm a YouTuber who, when this game comes out, I want to host servers persistently. I want the tools to be able to curate the actual experiences. Like, could you guys imagine if we just created a more hardcore server set rules where maybe we get rid of things like sliding for people who...
Yep. That's what I was thinking. If we get a more hardcore server, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would enjoy just as much as I did in Battlefield 4, of course. Right? Everything goes back to Battlefield 4 because Battlefield 4 was legendary. Quite naturally, Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 were also very legendary. Amazing games. Hopefully we won't go back to those times. I understand that, but quite naturally, we're going in the right direction that I think a lot of people love to see it for us. Right? I think that's what we want to see, just simply because those are good things that those games had, right? Those are good things that those particular games had, of course.
Don't want that, and we keep it more grounded and tailor it more towards Battlefield 3 and 4. And then we have another server that allows us to have crazy over-the-top game modes, and we have two servers that are being able to run simultaneously for two different subsets of our community that want to play either one of those experiences. We just need the options. This might not sound like a very important thing to a lot of people who are just looking in and jumping in and playing the game. For somebody like me, this is the most important conversation that we can have right now. Third thing that people are talking about is the fact that they're playing it very, very safe with this game. And a lot of people are essentially equating this to it's basically Battlefield 4. They didn't really do anything to push it forward. It's basically Battlefield 4.
Yeah, they didn't. Playing it safe is best you can do, because if you try to do especially what they try to do with Battlefield 4, I mean not Battlefield 4, with Battlefield 2042, they didn't play it really safe, and that one they try to do I'm pretty sure you can name a lot of things off the top of your head. For example, the hazard zone thing, that was a huge flop. Right? I only played on one hand, I've only played 4 games of that shit. That shit was not it. I was just say that 100%. That shit was not it. But I think they're mainly trying to play it safe because guess what? Guess what other games got to come out on console over here, right? Delta Force is about to come out on console. So quite naturally, right, they're going against a competitor who's doing the exact same thing that they're doing, right? The exact same thing. And quite naturally, you gotta, right? You gotta stand 10 toes down and compete against this guy you're going against China in this case, who copied essentially your game, and people actually like that game, right? They actually like Delta Force. I actually do like Delta Force myself. That is a good game, I would say. Right? I love that game. So I'll be playing this too. I'll be playing Battlefield as well, but I'll also be playing Delta Force whenever that comes out, and I'll be playing both. I'm not one of those people who just be like, oh yeah. Quite naturally, I did that with Call of Duty, of course, right? But I was like, I want to play X Define over Call of Duty. Unfortunately, we don't have X Define anymore. God damn it.
I'm going to say this. If this game comes out and is essentially Battlefield 4.5 on an updated engine, increased graphics with better destruction, with features like this where you can drag, and it's essentially playing it safe with Battlefield 4, I'm not going to fucking complain at all.
Yeah, I'm not... Facts. I don't know why people would be complaining in the first place. It's oh, it's just Battlefield 4 with a few extra things. It's what's wrong with that? I think a lot of people would like that, of course, is that you build on top of, right, essentially build off of the success of other games and try to do things and add other things to the game that it didn't have before. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. I would like to say that, of course, and I think people would agree. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Right, you build off of the success of your previous games, and then you add other mechanics that you didn't have before, and improves the gameplay. Right. At least that's how I see it, of course.
I've been asking to go back to basics for Battlefield for over a fucking decade. And
Yeah.
now the fact that I think they are going back to basics and playing it safe and are going to work on building this into a multi-year, this feels like a soft reset, right?
Yeah,
And then, of course, I have
Facts. It's a soft reset. A soft reset, quite naturally, but we gotta actually get full hands on it, of course, right? From what I heard, a lot of people who played the beta, of course. I mean, not the beta. Should we say the beta? Whoever played it early, right? Right? They were playing like on limited, these like smaller scale, like conquests, right? They were playing conquest, but it was like small, right? Hopefully, whenever we test it, they probably try to open up a little bit more of these maps. At least from what I heard from who was it? It wasn't from Big Fry. It was from someone else. Was it Jackie Fish? So, I
have to
forgot.
preface this by saying that's if the game launches like I played at this event. If
Yeah.
it launches like this, the actual core foundation is fucking solid. We need to know more
Yeah.
about content, progression, portal, server browsers. There's still a lot of unanswered questions that
Yep.
might change my opinion, but in terms of the actual core gameplay, them playing it safe and bringing it back to basics is
Yep.
exactly what the fuck I've been asking for a decade. If you wanted more,
We've been asking for that since how many Battlefields? Like 2042. That was pretty bad. We had Battlefield 5. We had Battlefield 1. Am I missing one? I feel like we're missing one there. Right? So we had 4 no 3. We had 3 Battlefields that just weren't good, and we're just like, can we just go back to how Battlefield 4 was, which was good? It was a good game. Like, quite naturally at start, Battlefield 4 was not a good game. I'm pretty sure everyone remembers that. But over time, Battlefield 4 became one of the best Battlefields that we've played out of all of them. Quite naturally, Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2. Legendary, of course. Right?
totally understand that opinion. I'm not going to complain. This feels like we're writing off the past and we're starting fresh and going to build this into something that is going to carry us into the future and actually have a healthy start yet again. And to me, okay, let's see what you got. And I think that's the best mindset to be in.
And we'll have a campaign this time. So you kind of have to play it in that regard, right?
Incredibly jaded from 2042. If I didn't play the game and if I was sitting at home and I was watching all of these creators say good things about it, I would feel incredibly cynical still. But at the very least, this weekend, the first beta test is happening and people can finally get their hands on it and we can just see for ourselves without taking the risk. And just like in 2042, man, if we get into this beta and things have changed since our playtest and things fuck up and go left, you know we're going to call it out. All I want is for this game to be fucking solid at launch with the tools available for us to tailor experiences for our community. And I think we're on the right track there. I hope we're on the right track.
I hope too.
I don't want to huff the copium. I'm still very cautiously optimistic, but I think more optimistic than cautious at this point. But I think that's only because I've actually been able to play it, share my footage, and actually talk to people boots on the ground at the event and shared those concerns. I will say, all of these conversations that were happening here, the people at that event, they know it. I spoke to a couple different people who worked at EA and I told them these exact same fucking things. So they know it. They have the opportunity to execute on it. It's just a matter of, are they going to? If they don't, this game might not have as healthy a future as it could. And that's really where it comes down to. I wanted to make a video just kind of recapping the conversations that are going on over the next couple days. I have a bunch of footage that I want to throw out into like raw gameplay, but I also don't know if that's something you guys want to see. Let me know in the comments, sound off. I'm down to put out as much Battlefield content as possible. I genuinely enjoyed what I played there at that event. And going into this weekend, I want to stream it and I want to continually push this game forward because it seems like things are changing. I'm really just hoping for the best here. And for the first time, and I think like, well, almost a decade, it seems like the general reception to this game is positive, and I would
Yeah,
say like very positive.
very is. I don't think it's ever been this positive. Like starting back from like Battlefield One, that's when like people start being like really negative about Battlefield because financially they were doing questionable things during those times, and people start believing in those questionable things, which kind of threw people off. And then all right, Battlefield 5, all right, kind of just. Uh, I mean, it didn't start with. I don't think it started with Battlefield 5. Actually, I should say Battlefield 1. As much as I did enjoy 1, of course, right? They did some questionable things on there too, but um, Battlefield 5 really picked it up, and people were like, "Yeah, no, right? Yeah, no." I'm pretty sure everyone could refer to uh, Angry Joe's video, right? So
Which is
yeah,
really good to see. As always, guys, my name is Big Fry. Sound off in the comments
yeah,
below. Let me know what kind of
yeah. I'll leave a link to his video, of course, right? If you want to check it out, me like too. I like watching his videos. Right, he's an FPS guy, of course, right? Love, love what I saw for the most part. Uh, Quite naturally, like I said before, I will be playing both Battlefield and Delta Force, of course. Delta Force is gonna be coming out in like I don't know, like a month or two, maybe, like pretty much around the same time. I'm not sure. They haven't given us a direct date, of course, for Delta Force, but I would give it like a month or two potentially when we get it. I'll be playing that, and then we're getting this game in October, right? Which that's pretty much the general like launch date. Right? That's where they launch their game for the most part, and then also Call of Duty. Call of Duty's releasing around the same time. Call of Duty's got some competition this year. Um, People animosity towards Call of Duty has it's beyond boiling point right now. People are not going to be playing that for sure. I'm not going to play it. Right? I don't care. Right? I don't care today. Right? Come back to this video. You can dislike it if I end up playing that game. You can roast me for all, or you can roast the shit out of me if you want, if I ever play that game. But quite naturally, maybe I'll try it at most, and then be like, yeah, no, this one's not it. Maybe once I see it, I'll determine if I want to play it or not. But it's been your boy, right? Like the video, share, make sure link this video down in the comments, of course. As always, stay good, stay safe, everyone. Peace.